I keep hearing the buzzwords, college and career ready, all the time. And I see a lot of them pushing towards college, but I don't see the career part. Okay, we've cut down on the BOCES program. And let's be honest, not every kid's going to go to college, all right? And there's nothing wrong with being an electrician. Have you paid one lately? So the bottom line is, what are we doing about as far as looking at certain kids that want to go into the trades? And do you think it's fair to judge teachers, right, on a child's college preparedness when he has no intention of going to college, he or she? I mean, when I went to school, you had a Regents and a general diploma, a career track and an education track, and it just seems to me that once New York State got involved, they screwed everything up. And I just want your opinion. Are we looking at, it's like a cookie cutter approach to education right now. And when you look at the governor's 50% of testing, all right, he has one student in mind, and every student has to fit into that, and that's what they're going to judge the teacher on. Can you speak to that? As far as, and what kind of actual learning is going to occur when you have teachers that are worried about their job and all they do is teach to the test? So there's no actual learning going on there. Or it stagnates it. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, let me do it. Okay. College and career readiness. The buzzword is the buzz. Those are the buzzwords, aren't there? As the student who went into a carpentry apprenticeship before I went to college at nights and on weekends, I fully appreciate what you're saying. That's why I talked about career and technical education here. We need, and the guidance counselors, they go in perfect together. We know if you want to build awareness that a child has to understand that they have to have a career at the end of the day, that starts with guidance first and foremost in the elementary grades. We want to move, I know the chancellor spoke about this, career and technical education into middle schools. We already have it in high schools. We want to expand it in high schools. There are children who just prefer to learn in an applied setting, which is what you're saying at this moment. They prefer to learn in a shop setting, a laboratory setting, than in a regular classroom setting. They like working with their hands. They like doing things that are outside what's called standard, the 4 core academic subject areas. So as school systems, we can grow this. Do we need the teachers? Yeah, we don't have the number of teachers that we need. Right now, I was supposed to be in Kenosha, Wisconsin today to visit with, there's an exceptional school there that does mechanical technology. It's considered like a flagship, and we want to bring that to New York City. And they have a sponsor, it's Snap-on Tools. You've probably heard of them. And there's a whole group there right now between the UFT and administrators and teachers from New York City going there to see how we can bring that here. The regions passed the change in the diploma, so now that when we have the children passes the industry assessment, this is not a standardized test, these are industry assessments from every industry, from the medical industries to the engineering, to carpentry, woodworking, all sorts of things. The industry designed what they say a child needs to be proficient in to get a job the minute they leave high school. And those children now, when they pass that assessment, they'll be given credit towards a diploma. So that's a step in the right direction. But we need, if we're going to get serious about this, this is where we need the state to say, we are going to put a set-aside of dollars for schools who want to develop these type of programs, and it's not just about high school, it goes all the way down. And there are, you know, when you see students in these settings, and the funny part is right now the data shows us the children who leave high school with a career tech ed assessment, they actually go to college at a higher rate than the academic kids because they've learned work. They've learned what it takes to go to work every day and that it's an important thing. So I welcome any of the expansion and bringing this into more. It shouldn't just be the BOCES. The BOCES are a very important piece, but we should be able to put programs into all schools and not just sit here and talk about college and career.
And the other thing they bring up all the time is when a kid goes to college, he's got to take remedial courses, okay? And that's a big deal, all right? But, you know, I have an individual that works with me, has Asperger's, right? And he works his tail off. He worked his tail off to get out of high school. And then he had to take some remedial courses. So what? It's taken him 4 years, okay, or 3.5 years to get his associates. Now he's moving on to his bachelor's. And we have kids out there or young adults out there that, I mean, I know students that work as hard as they can to get a C.
Yeah.
Okay? And then after they get out of that grade, they go to the next grade, and they have to catch up again on what they learned last year, but they really worked their tail off to get that C and graduate. Oh, I mean, the way they're telling us about this, they're saying, well, if he has to take remedial or she has to take remedial courses, she doesn't belong in college. Okay, so I have a real problem with when they keep pigeonholing these kids. And they keep talking about these remedial courses like that, you know, they should never be there. The colleges are making money off this, okay? So I just don't think that's a fair thing to sit there and say when you have kids going to like a community college that's working his tail, so what he has to take, or she has to take remedial courses. Doesn't mean that they didn't do what they had to do to graduate high school. They may have a learning disability. So I just want to put that out there because I keep hearing that every time in this hearing, and it's nonsense.
Assemblyman, you recall from last year's hearing that was started in Long Island around the Common Core that according to the state, half the students in your area in Long Island were not ready for college, despite the fact that the college-going rate in your area was over 90%, and the vast majority of them performed in college. So there's a huge disconnect between the reality and the facts, as was demonstrated at the hearing that you attended last fall, and the myth about college and career readiness.
Thank you.